Hi, this is Conrad Zimmerman of FistShark Marketing, reminding you that this show exists because people like you support it. Go check out patreon.com/FistShark or click the big Patreon button at fistshark.com for more details on how you can help become part of the problem. And thanks for listening. I think it's a really big contract opportunity for us. We don't get a ton of United States government work.
It is, but it is also a political hot potato, and I know you're not one to shy away from the spotlight, but this could paint a target on our backs. It's not a popular move.
No, I agree. It's not a popular move yet. But I think it's something that as people come to see the benefits intrinsic in our plan to address the Flint water issue, they're going to come around. They are.
I mean, it's an interesting plan, and as is the why, my mind instantly fires off ideas. You can't stop having them. But I have my worries that getting into the issue of... I did some focus testing, mostly local, not in Flint, but certainly in other parts of the country. Lead in the water is not a popular move.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Lead in the water tends to be viewed with disdain. At best, caution.
Right. People are wary about lead in the water. They prefer their water sans lead if given the choice. Obviously, people in Flint weren't given the choice. But now it's our job to... we signed the contract, which worries me for another matter. Normally we're not allowed to deal with the US government, mostly because of various embargoes and pending inquiries. So the fact that they came to us makes us feel like they didn't have anywhere else to go. Like, something tells me no one else touched this one.
It's going to be a multi-year project. You can't just fix a problem on this scale overnight. And it's going to be a optics problem that's ongoing for a very, very long time. But I think the key is going to be to draw attention away from the lead in the water.
Away from the lead in the water, right. Because I do know that, in our first meeting, a lot of the spitball ideas seem to include drawing more attention to the lead in the water, which I felt ran counter to it. The senior partners, for some reason, are very interested in this project, and they very heavily suggested putting more lead into the water.
Well, yeah, but I think that's a different plan. I think you're conflating two things. They didn't necessarily want to draw more attention to the lead in the water. They just wanted to get more lead into the water.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Which I completely understand and even agree with from a long-term strategy perspective, because you wind up with lead in the water and it affects kids and it makes them a little bit dumb, and then it makes them more conducive to future marketing strategies. So it's an investment in the future, and I get that.
Couldn't we just get water to the people of Flint that does not have lead in it? So they have the option. Just giving options often.
That was suggested. It's like, why not help the people of Flint and by giving them water? But Americans not in Flint decided they needed all the water for themselves. And I kind of understand that. It's like who's going to give up their water? Like, not me.
No, I'm busy drinking it over here. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I've got 5 glasses right now.
Okay, so we're not going to put more lead in their water. We're not going to give them lead-free water.
Well, I think we may put some more lead in the water.
We probably will, just for we've got all this lead. We've got so much lead in the office, Paulson. Actually, Paul, do you mind if I call you Paul?
I guess not. I mean, you can if you want.
Okay. It's just, I knew a Paulson, and he danced with the devil in the pale moonlight.
I think there are ways that we'll be able to draw attention away from the water crisis.
Okay, well, let's hear the plan. How do we solve the water crisis?
This is a two birds, one stone deal for us, actually. Because FistShark Science has been working on a new strain of wheat.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of our GMO projects, and it's really, really promising. It grows very quickly. It can grow anywhere, and it naturally produces arsenic.
Oh, a kind of wheat snick.
Yeah, a wheat snick. That's exactly it. You see, so much of Michigan is already viewed as a food desert.
Mm-hmm, that is true.
That if we start moving in with deliveries of wheat snick, get people sort of focused on the food supply that's coming into the region, and now we're solving the food desert problem, because it's going to take a long time for us to address the lead issue, and people understand that the pipes are going to have to all be replaced and so forth if they want to get lead out of the water.
The government just might not bother.
Right, and so if we can simply introduce this other solution, something positive, something that people can say, hey, you know what? People really do care about us here in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah. I've got one slight issue with this plan.
Right.
Is that arsenic, very much like lead, is poisonous to humans.
Wait.
Deadly poisonous. They will die.
No, that can't be right. I thought that was a supplement.
I'm no scientist, but I'm fairly certain that arsenic kills people.
Now that doesn't make any sense at all. Every morning when I get up, my cup of coffee, my wife gives me my vitamin D pill, my fish oil, and my arsenic.
No, that's a muffin.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you've confused muffins and arsenic again.
Shit.
Yeah. However,
we spent all this money developing arsenic-producing wheat.
I tell you what, let me riff on this. I think I may have hit of something there. If the problem is poison, and our solution is more poison, that reduces the problem of the poisoned water, because now they got poisoned wheat to worry about. You see what I mean?
You're saying we dilute.
That's the word. We effectively dilute the poison in the water by introducing more poison, so that the poison in the water doesn't seem so bad.
Well, the amount of poison in their system that comes from lead, percentage-wise, will go down, because the amount of poison from other sources will go up.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
And this works perfectly. Because there are so many products here that we've kind of had to shelve due to their potential lethality to the human race. We could just shove it in there. Like that time that we developed milk that was just full of AIDS. We put that on the shelves in the local Walmart in Flint. Then I mean, how bad's the water gonna seem compared to that?
That's true. That's gonna seem downright healthy. Well, it's a little bit of lead, and you could have AIDS.
Do we still have them? Did we burn them, or did we keep them? The children's night lights, that for reasons unknown to any of us, contain microscopic flesh-eating bacteria inside them.
Oh, the ones that are inside the bulbs.
Yeah,
and the bulbs get
dormant,
too hot,
they lie dormant until a certain peak temperature, and they sort of come out and strip flesh from bone.
We might have a warehouse of those somewhere. I mean, I wouldn't surprise. We had to take them all back and shelve them after that incident in Turkey.
Yeah, I tell you what, if we've still got them, ship them on over. They ain't gonna be complaining about a little bit of lead in the water when they've got flesh-eating bacteria, wheat snick and AIDS milk to deal with. I do need to bring up a sad story. It's a sad story, and one that we're going to have to try and find a way to deal with, because it reflects poorly on us, even though I certainly feel no one was to blame. But, I'll just come right out and say it. The TV series we've been working on, Love Guns, might not get a second season now, thanks to...
No.
Yep.
Oh, man, that's such a great show. It hits every demographic.
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, the viewing figures were fantastic. In today's modern market, the ratings were incredible. But I thought it was perfect. It is perfect. And I will fight with the network to get a second season. I mean, Love Guns, it's a quintessential American show. It's a reality TV show. You get a group of 19 to 25-year-olds in this house, Big Brother style. The house is full of guns. We supply them with alcohol.
They're all young. They're all sexy. They're all energetic.
They're horny. They have a frail idea of the consequences of their actions, and they're given fun challenges by the host, Daniel Radcliffe, to have sex with the guns. It has everything. It has hope. It has laughs. It has booze. It has young people. It has guns. It has sex. It is American entertainment personified.
So, I mean, what's the problem?
Someone was shot dead.
How did that happen?
We're still looking into it. But that has, I mean, it happened halfway through episode 2. So we've kind of had to put the show on hiatus for now. After a stunning pilot and a fantastic half of a second episode. We're still investigating it. We've got the police looking into it now. All we know is that somehow, Claire Muldoon, age 24, was shot in the stomach and neck and is dead.
So, are we suspecting foul play?
It's too early to tell, but we're not even ruling out that this could be a gun-related injury, somehow.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Traces of bullet were found in the wounds where she was shot. So we're thinking, whatever shot her, it may have been a gun.
I saw the show. It was clear that everyone was very well trained.
Absolutely.
Everybody there got complete instruction on proper lubrication.
The best places to fuck the gun.
Yep, and they all knew where the cameras were, and I mean we did a number preparing these people to produce a great show. It was a lot of work and a lot of effort.
Health and safety was our number one concern. Of course it was. That's why in every bathroom there was that poster that said, "Remember, safety on if you're dick in the barrel."
With a little drawing of the dick in the...
little drawing of the dick with the barrel. Yeah, Donnie Dick and Billy Barrel. Hey, don't forget to turn the safety on, kids. We were going to think of doing a spin-off cartoon, but, the whole thing's had the kibosh put on it because someone in there decided to get themselves bloody shot somehow. And ultimately, that's very sad, and we're all cut up about it, and I'm full of remorse and regret. Like I said on the news last night after the airing, this is an unforeseen tragedy.
I'm shocked. I genuinely am. I don't think that there is any way at all we could have seen this coming. Right?
No.
I mean, this is just like a freak accident thing.
The odds of it happening are, I'm not a mathematician, but I want to say like infinity to 1.
Right.
And we were that outlier. Anyone at any time in America can get shot while filming a TV show.
Absolutely.
That's just the truth of the world we live in. That it happened to us is regretful. But there was nothing we could have done.
No. There was no way we possibly could have prevented this from happening. I think that we need to just sort of acknowledge that the bad things happen to good people.
We got to take full responsibility in this by coming out and saying that we couldn't do anything.
No.
There
was no way to stop it.
There is a lot of people I'm hearing are demanding that we make concessions, that we put blanks in the guns, that instead of actually having sex with the gun, people have sex while firing guns away from people, as opposed to actually inserting the guns or inserting themselves into.
I've heard some of those complaints, and honestly, I think it's like fringe liberals who have a problem with guns, and a problem with people having sex with guns, and a problem with people getting drunk and having sex with guns on television. You know, the kind of fringe wingnut that always comes out in the wake of a tragedy to try and make a bit of money off it. And as I said, when I was getting those t-shirts printed of Claire's body, I will not stand to have this tragedy exploited.
If I remember correctly, it actually says that on the t-shirts. I will not stand to have this tragedy exploited. With
Absolutely.
Her, bloody
with the
corpse.
Autopsy photos. Very tastefully shot.
Yeah, well, it's kind of clever because, you know, she's never going to stand. So it works. It's got a little zing there. Yeah. I do like that shirt. That's a good design.
It's edgy. I like it. I like it a lot. But as far as this goes, you know, people want concessions. We've already sent the family a ham. We didn't have to do that because, again, this was nobody's fault.
We can't control everybody who has a gun, right?
No.
You know, we can't be responsible for what they do.
We can't control whose dick goes in what gun goes in which orifice. That's not our role, okay?
The Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects our right to keep and fuck arms. I mean,
Absolutely.
We know this. It's right there. I understand some people might be a little horrified by this situation, but look, if you want to make an omelet, a few eggs are gonna get shot, right?
That's the price of freedom, last I checked.
Conrad, did you manage to get that flight booked yet?
The one to China that you're supposed to be taking next week.
Yeah, I feel a little nervous that it's not gonna. I always like to get those things done at least.
Yeah, you should be nervous.
I
Where are you going?
Why? What? I'm going to China.
On what? On a plane, is it?
Yeah, taking a flight to China. Why? What's so funny?
Good luck.
Thanks. Is there something I don't know? Is there some danger that I'm already kind of nervous?
You know what happens if you try and fly to China, don't you? You'll fall off the side.
Fall off the side of the plane?
The side of what?
Of the planet.
Of the planet? Of the planet Earth?
I don't see any other planets in the universe, do you?
True, I'm just trying to piece this together. So, if I fly to China, I will go into space?
Imagine the world, right? Hang on. Let me, got this DVD of Look Who's Talking Now, right?
Right.
There we are. There's the world. Okay.
Where?
Here's America, right on Bruce Willis' baby's eye, right? There's the plane. Going across. There's the edge of the DVD. Pow! Now I'm in space. I'm flying toward the sun. Your best hope is that the sun, while it's revolving around the Earth, gets out the way so you don't burn up. That's science.
Gravity would aid me in staying at least close to the planet.
Well, no, gravity works while you're like on the surface, but the moment you fall off the edge, you're just gonna float towards the sun unless it revolves out the way.
The visual example you provide.
Yes, Look Who's Talking Now on DVD.
Right. You think that the Earth is shaped like that?
Yeah. Well, like this, but you know, flatter. It's not as thick as a DVD case. It's sort of thin like paper, and then all the hills and grass and stuff are on top of it.
I mean, I can dig a hole that's 6 feet deep.
That's all the hills and grass. If you dig deep enough, you'll just fall out. Goodbye, Paul. Help! I'm in space.
Has that ever happened? Does anyone ever?
All the time, mate. All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that where oil comes from? Because they dig deep holes.
Well, it's
for oil.
Yeah, I mean, it stands to reason, doesn't it? Oil is black, space is black. You dig down deep enough, and it's just a whole bunch of space just comes floating in. Why do you think cars run on it?
I thought that was internal
It's
combustion.
science, is what it is. You fill cars with space juice that you got from digging through the earth. And then you drive to work.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm trying to.
I'm confused by your confusion here. Like I thought we were all on the same page, and suddenly you're talking about flying to China, like you've got a death wish or something.
But I've flown to China before, and I went there. I was there. I saw the Chinese. I saw the Chinese language.
You've flown to China, Jim?
Yeah, you were in China, but via plane. You went
several times.
Yeah.
You think it's China? It's Idaho. They fly it at Idaho. That's Idaho's job. That's why it doesn't do anything else as a state. It pretends to be other countries.
Basically, what you're saying is that when we get into a plane, because we aren't outside the plane and we lose our context for sense of direction, they could be landing us anywhere in this
Idaho.
case, Idaho.
They go up for as many hours as it takes, and then they land you in Idaho. I thought you guys knew this. It's like, Conrad, I always thought you knew this.
No.
I mean, I will admit, I've done a lot of guesswork on this. The whole thing about like cars running on space juice and Idaho pretending to be China, those are things I've come up with in my head to explain any potential inconsistencies with the idea that the Earth is shaped like a DVD of Look Who's Talking Now. But they're the only logical explanations I can think of if my theory is correct.
I want to run with you on this. I don't want to.
Don't run too fast and too far, or you'll fall off the the Earth, and you'll go, I'm in space.
Well, in that case, how do I get to China? I still need to
Doesn't
go.
exist.
I can cancel my. It's not on the other side of the Earth. It's
my
nowhere?
guess is it was made up by atheists to try and trick Americans
into believing and not believing.
Yeah, one of those. Something like that. I'll be honest, I get very confused and trip up over my own thought processes as I try and make sense of this, but you know, I mean, apparently it's controversial now. I'm going to come out and say it. I am a flat earther.
You believe that the Earth
I believe that
flat.
the Earth, which is literally 6,000 years old, is roughly the shape of a DVD copy of Look Who's Talking Now, or Masters of the Universe. Depends what DVD I'm looking at the time.
Well, I mean, if I hold up this DVD to the horizon line, they are both flat.
What more evidence do you need? That's where I stopped.
You haven't always held this perspective, though.
No. This is a new belief system that I come up with about a week and a half ago. I woke up and I just thought to myself, you know what? I feel like I'm going to be today a tremendous vagina. And ever since then, I've not looked back.
You're a vagina now?
Massive one. A massive walking, talking fanny.
And the Earth is flat.
Yeah. I've noticed it's making a comeback. This whole flat Earth thing. And so I'm thinking, well, there must be something to it. And it's fun to be a literal walking, talking muff. So I'm all for it. I've decided that's what I am now. And I have worked very hard at reconstitutionalizing my brain to think that way.
I'm sure there are opportunities.
It's a good lifestyle. To make this work, I've been huffing a lot of glue.
I can see how that might be necessary. Yeah.
I got no sense of smell.
From what I've heard, that also happened to Tila Tequila, who's also a flat earther.
Who I meet regularly now for schnapps.
I've heard she believes she is literally tequila as well. Because that is her name, and therefore it is.
She has tried to make me drink her on a number of occasions, and I just kind of humour her. I just sort of put my mouth near her and go, yummy.
And she, of course, believes you are a vagina, so she's trying to put tequila in a vagina, which is you.
And normally I'm too high on paint fumes at that point to distinguish fact from fiction, so I just kind of go with it. I might be a vagina full of Tila's tequila. I don't know anymore. All I know is that the Earth is flat.
Can we take some of this to actual science?
Actual what?
Just to Science? I want to know if you're a vagina filled with tequila.
You're sounding a lot like a socialist.
It's a way of getting to the bottom of what's real and what's not.
It's sounding like a whole bunch of liberal horse hooey.
Well, we can either test it or we cannot. I can either try to go to China or I cannot. I can try to dig to China. I can
keep talking. I'm listening.
What are you doing? Huh? What? I was trying to explain.
I'm listening. Whoa. I'm listening.
What is?
Sorry, what was you saying?
So, how about this? I'm gonna book the flight to China.
You're gonna do what? On
and
a plane?
Maybe I'll end up on a plane.
Good luck, mate. You'll fall off the side of the earth. Do you know what happens if you fall off the side? Right. Let me explain this to you. Hold on. Right. Let me explain this to you in detail, right? See this DVD copy I've got here, right? Of Masters of the Universe Volume 2.
FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling, Conrad Zimmerman, and Paul Sincere. Theme music by Ben Rama. Additional music by Alazar Chan. Our editor is Alan Smithy. Get more episodes and learn how to support the show at FistShark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, stay hungry. It's how you consume more. Goodbye.